today we are talking to Market Project Manager Celia Schilling from Hyperkin. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, your company is pretty much known for awesome retro products like the Retron 5 and the SmartBoy.
Yes.
That was actually released like last year at the end with the SmartBoy S.
Yes.
And now we are here for the latest product, and that would be
our SmartBoy.
Great.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a bit of that device that looks like that was released as a development kit.
Yes. So yeah, it does resemble our development kit, and this is the retail-ready version for the device. The difference between the two is that our dev kit was more like for development. We encouraged the community, the development community, to hack it, try different things with it, and really opened it up for development. While the retail-ready version is consumer-ready, you can't hack it, and it's ready for USB Type-C phones. While the dev kit is for micro USB.
And recently, Samsung announced a partnership for the new Galaxy series. Tell us a bit more about that.
Oh yeah, so Samsung really loved what we do, and we actually developed, our initial development for the retail-ready version was with Samsung for their newest generation phones. And though it does work on other phones that are USB Type-C, so we're in the SNAP program, so that's how that got started. We announced it, and moving forward, it's a good partnership.
So let's see how it works.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so first off you want to do is you want to take your SmartBoy out of the box. It's a good start. So you take it out, and you want to press the black extender button on the back. So that's going to extend the wings. So you can fit different sized phones in here, and then you can snap it into place to make sure that it fits. So you're going to want to take your USB Type-C phone, and you want to make sure you're going to download 2 apps from the Google Play Store. You want to get SmartBoy Companion and My Old Boy. My Old Boy is going to run in the back, while SmartBoy Companion's going to be the one that's actually working. So open that up, let it be. Then you want to open up the SmartBoy Serial app. Okay, once it's open, you want to take the device and slide it in. You want to match up the USB Type-C with the port, and there we go. Once it's in place, you want to extend it and make sure it's clicked in, so it's all sturdy, no wiggling around, whatever. Take your Game Boy game. I chose Pokemon Silver because it's one of my favorite generations, and it's going to be loading the cartridge data.
So that's actually similar to the Retron 5, which also is copying the ROM data from the actual cartridge and storing it inside, kind of.
It is similar. There's a little bit different logistics with it, but it does have a similar where you're taking the files from your game, and you can play your save files on your Game Boy. What's really great about this, though, is that if you've played your Pokemon Silver or Gold, for example, a lot of the save files have been deleted. So a way to get around that now is you can save it to your phone, and you can play your save files and continue your game. So you're not consistently trying to restarting the game, or some people open it up and change the battery. And the thing is that I've changed plenty of batteries myself in my day, but a lot of people don't solder it right or something of the sort, and you could really damage the board, and then your game's
actually you have a YouTube channel where you actually do tinker with the hardware and show how to repair that stuff, right?
Yes.
I've seen that.
Thank you.
And people were pretty much amazed by how simply it can be done. People, of course, are afraid of breaking something, and
yeah, definitely.
So this is working around the battery problem.
Yes. So once your cartridge data is loaded, you click Run Launch Software, and then you want to select SmartBoy GB. So when you initially do this, we actually released a video recently showing how to upload, accept all the files and whatnot. It's a really quick process. You guys can check that out on YouTube, on our site. And it's playing the game.
Okay.
So it's pretty fast. Put it in, and you can play.
Right.
What's cool though, it's it's backlit because it's your phone, and the controls are pretty similar.
And the problem for many clones that actually clone the Game Boy is the aspect ratio and the resolution of the screen. How did you work around that so it doesn't look too blocky?
So for us, that'd be something maybe our developers could go more into detail on, so we'll look for you later on. But what I can say, we're pretty darn good at our job.
Okay.
We have very talented developers, and they pay attention to these things.
Okay. So you said other mobiles work too with it. So what type of smartphones don't work with it? I see you need at least a tablet or a bigger phone.
A tablet would not be able to fit inside the SmartBoy.
Yeah.
So it'd be phones that are USB Type-C and are like more current generation. So, but we've tried on. We have like a whole compatibility list that we've released online. Tons of phones work with this device, and we've tested many of them. And, they do. It's just making sure that you have that USB Type-C and it is an Android phone.
Now we all know that there was something like a Super Game Boy for the Super NES back then, and there was a timing issue for once. And on the other side, you also had advantaged color palettes and frames and so on. But I guess Super Game Boy games that have advantages, are they also on this machine, or is it like a plain Game Boy?
Oh, so you're asking if there's Game Boy Advance as well with that? Or?
No, I mean the Super Game Boy stuff. Like Donkey Kong had more colors on a Super Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
If you plugged it into a Super Game Boy in your Super NES, you had more colors and a colorful frame.
Display. Yeah. For that, I haven't personally tested myself. For colors, I'll get back to you on that because I'd love to find out myself. But from like all the other games that we've played for Game Boy Color and Game Boy, they look really good and the colors are pretty. So. Okay. I'll be sure to check that out for you.
No problem. Yeah. Was just something I would love to know as a retro gamer myself. When you release the Retron 5, a lot of people complained that homebrew games, NES game for example, they didn't run. So how about homebrew games on the Game Boy?
So for that, since I haven't tried any homebrew games recently on this, I can get back to you on that. Literally, I have some homebrew games at home. I will go try to play them, I promise you. I see there shouldn't be an issue, but if there is a compatibility issue, we can definitely, update maybe our SmartBoy companion app and solve the problem.
Although you can actually update the firmware of the device.
Yeah, so it is on Google Play, so you can always edit the serial and make something work. But that is more on the development side of things. So we definitely will get back to you on that, but we haven't really experienced any issues yet. But our ears are open and we pay attention to the retro community. So if there is a way that we can solve a problem, we'll definitely get on it and try our best to get everything done.
Yes, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned you actually go through the retro area and look what new games are in development.
No, because I'm getting so excited about it. So, I see those games and I'm like, oh, well, and then my wheels are turning, like, how can we make sure that, maybe this is compatible and then we can get this out to the retro community so people can play, like on a Retron 5 and maybe, just maybe, like, they can do streaming and all that. So we try our best. So if we can, we will.
From a marketing perspective, are there enough customers even for such a niche? I mean, why is a company like Hyperkin going on a niche market?
Well, first of all, we're all retro gamers. So, heck yeah, we want to reach out to the retro community. But, like, how I say it is that retro, it isn't just a time period anymore. It's a genre. And people that grew up with Game Boy, grew up with NES, like Atari, examples, there's many, I promise. They have this hunger to relive that. And the problem is that the accessibility for it is very limited because, not everyone has a CRT television anymore. And you bring it up on your HDMI television and it's not as pretty as we remember it to be. So our goal is to get it to the modern market. Get it to everyone that has that hunger for the nostalgia or a hunger to learn, about the games and experience like their parents did. So though it's niche, it's growing, and people that are in the niche, their hearts are really strong. So. And
this is why I also released the Hyper Click SNES mouse for primarily for Mario Paint recently.
Yes, okay, I love Mario Paint. Oh my gosh, I mess around on the music player all the time, make little silly tunes. Anyways, yeah. So like for the mouse, sometimes it's not as accessible. Through the wear and tear. Sometimes people don't have that, but they do have a lot of Mario Paint cartridges. So we made a mouse that's a little bit larger, so it fits adult hands, so we can relive the past with less scrunchy hands, and have the same compatibility. Because people don't just play it for Mario Paint. I know people played it for Jurassic
Operation Wolf,
Yes.
Crosshair. Most people don't even know, you know?
Yeah, no, and there's so much possibilities for it. Yeah, no, a ton of our fans on the Facebook page, because I go through everything. Like, I always read the comments, I'm like, ooh, I have to try that. I learned a lot of things from our fans, by the way.
Well, there are 50 plus games for the mouse, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So for those games too. So it's getting that accessibility and having people relive the joy.
How about the blowing issue into the cartridge?
Okay, hold on. Never blow on your cartridges. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, I know everyone did it. I did it. Oh my gosh. I like have to stop myself sometimes to be like, oh, hold on, I gotta fix it. I'm like, I know better. Clean your carts. There's tons of videos. If you don't know how to do it online, you know, just look it up, please. Anyways, yes, no blowing on your carts. And as long as your cart is clean, it should read. I know a lot of people don't clean their carts, so if anything, it's raising awareness to clean your carts.
I know that the Retron 5 is known for having very tight connectors in it.
So for that, it depends, honestly. But we do have released videos of how to take out the carts without damaging the pins.
If you try it now, let's see how easy it goes. Okay, that was pretty easy.
Yeah,
okay.
No, also, by the way, if you take out your cartridge, piracy notice comes up letting you know that piracy is a serious crime and to be nice and play safe. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, so you made it so you don't need so much force to exit it and enter it into the Game Boy.
Yeah. So.
Wow,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, no, it's super easy, like real fast. But as for that, we made videos on it. Everyone, like Nintendo products, for example, last forever. Like, oh my gosh. So, people are like, beat up their NESs, slam it out, slam dunk it back in. And so you just hold the device, record it, and pull out, and it comes out way easier.
Okay, good improvement.
So, yeah.
But I see the start and select buttons are not from rubber like on a real Game Boy.
No, they're not. We have some differences with our SmartBoy. It's just more of a process for the development of making sure that no rubber ever wears down, and just for the design of the device. Though we had a similar reminiscent style, there are some differences, of course.
Mm-hmm. And is Nintendo concerned that you kind of enter their market?
Honestly, we haven't had any problems with it. I know some people from Nintendo actually ordered our product because they were super excited because everyone loves Game Boy. Like literally, I've never met someone that was like, I hate Game Boy. No one. So no, we haven't had any issues currently, and they're pretty excited with their stuff, and we're just happy, and they're happy about retro. So
yep. Good. Recently there was an article where people were concerned if this is safe to use your original cartridge on Chinese products, for example, because of the voltage differences. The systems work, but I guess you may find you're not going to wear out the electronics over time.
Yeah, we use, for this example, this is one of our development phones. This has gone through a heck and back of us just goofing off and doing stuff, and it's been fine so far. This has been months, long time, constant wear and tear usage, and definitely working with Samsung, we have definite regulations about.
Okay,
sure
good to know. So, in which direction you want to go with Hyperkin? Now that you have a whole palette of, you would say, compatible new hardware for the retro gamers. What's your next big step you have in mind? Well, not of course revealing any secrets.
Ooh, I do like secrets though. I guess I'm gonna mention, because we did post a photo recently, give you a little sneak peek. So we are talking about, we did release our Retron HD. So we did release a photo of our Super Retron HD, and that will be playing SNES games on HD TVs. It's gonna be all hardware, and it's gonna be made with love.
Okay.
All the products are.
Okay. So people should wait for the new product and not buy a Retron 5 now?
Honestly, it's your choice. All of our products differ in certain ways. If someone's pure hardwareist, because we have different fans with different choices and preferences. If you're pure hardware, then go the hardware option. That's amazing. If you want an HD TV version, then go for Super Retron HD. If you want emulation, partial software, partial hardware, then you can definitely go for the Retron 5.
The Retron 5 had an adapter where you could put in the Master System cards, the smart cards, the
Yeah.
little games and so on, and other portable consoles. Are you going to integrate that? Because a lot of gamers actually ask to have that integrated in the next generation of the Retron.
Okay,
Is that in the plan, or will you still release adapters instead?
So that's a really good question. Right now,
Thank you.
there's no, of course, there's no plan for like a Retron 6, for example, right? As of right now. As for adapters, there's nothing really in the works that I can talk about, or as planning in general. If there ever is, pay attention to our social media. Terrence and myself, he's our PR specialist, by the way. Yeah, we will announce it, like heck out of it. Social media is usually the first place that we announce things. But as for adapters, it's a very good idea. No, we definitely listen to our fans, so if something in the works, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Great, thank you very much for taking the time.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Thanks, very great product.
Thank you. It's super fun.